everyone. I have got a very special guest with me. This is Adam Wilkins, and Adam is an Amazon consultant, he's a coach, and he's an author. Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi. Well, thanks for having me on today. I guess I'll get started. In 2004 or so, I graduated UCF, University of Central Florida, with a degree in marketing and consumer behavior, and went on to sell advertising, digital, and print. From there, I had exposure as a traditional manufacturer's rep, working on the OEM side with manufacturers in China looking to work with U.S. distributors and manufacturers that sold to brick and mortar retail. After a couple of years of doing that, I realized that the upward trend in retail was actually on the e-com side, and had a little bit of a falling out with my previous employer over a difference of opinion.
And you mentioned earlier that you were working with your family, so it's always tough to work with family.
It was a relative, correct? Yeah, who was an old school manufacturer's rep.
Yeah.
In the cycling industry, he was semi-famous. Yeah, my family has a long history in that industry, so that's really where I got my feet wet with Amazon in about 2008. And from there, I realized, hey, why focus on one client when I can do this for a number of clients? And at the time, it was kind of unheard of that there was agencies, people specializing in consulting for Amazon, because in just a few years prior, it was primarily a site for books and media. So I kind of entered the space as an early adopter and took advantage of the growth before I had much competition. And one thing led to another, and I kind of went through a few years of extreme growth. And now, the company's going on 11 years old. And I've really represented clients in a plethora of different categories, from health, beauty, industrial scientific, tools, clothing, vitamins, kind of a smorgasbord of everything the site has to offer.
Yeah. So, I connected with Adam on LinkedIn. We had a few connections, and then we got to talking. And what I found really interesting, and when we were talking, was you mentioned your book, and part of your book talks about this launch list, right? So it talks about kind of what beginner sellers or folks that are sort of really invested in doing this whole Amazon thing, what can they do to successfully launch a new product or a new brand. And so what I invited Adam here to do was to talk a little bit about that. But before we get into that launch list, and you've got some bullet points that you want to go over, talk to me, when or how did you use the strategy that you're about to talk about today with some companies? Can you give us kind of a case study?
Sure. So I've worked with a number of probably familiar brands on the site that later went on to become platinum sellers. And I developed this list sort of alongside personal experience working with the retail team at Amazon. So as a lot of third-party sellers are aware, many of the tools and the technologies on the Amazon side that you have available as a 3P seller, they actually originated on the retail side, right? So and the strategies come from those teams. So, the inner circles at Amazon, people in marketing and vendor management.
So these are tried and tested strategies that we know work well. Yeah.
Correct. Right from the horse's mouth. So these are strategies that were sort of secrets, that the internal teams would share with their best performing vendors. And a lot of these strategies have been consistent as the toolkit's kind of expanded, but it comes from a lot of internal conversations and in-person meetings with people at Amazon Seattle. So some of those tools have changed as they've become available for third-party sellers. And originally they, as I said, were primarily for the retail side. So they are tried and true. They do work sort of agnostic of category that you're in. And I can say that my poster child for Amazon was a company that's called Mr. Beams. And they were one of the top lighting vendors at Amazon, still are, and were acquired by Ring, the doorbell company, several years ago. And shortly thereafter, as everyone knows, Amazon bought Ring for over $1 billion. So my poster child account, which I've used a lot of these strategies on, was at some point acquired by Amazon.
Right. That's awesome. No, that's awesome. So let's jump into it. Tell us a little bit about what sellers need to do, before they launch that new product, before they launch that that new brand. What do they need to do? Where do they get started?
Right. So content is sort of the foundation of every ASIN on the site, and I think a lot of manufacturers make the mistake of product development, and then once they have the inventory in stock, they start working on the content. Right. But really, you should be working on content as you're developing the product. Right. And specifically, as soon as it comes out of production, you should be working with your photographer, your marketing team to get that rich content in terms of imagery, lifestyle, and studio available as it concerns your primary imagery as well as your supplemental for A+ and brand page. So the content is the most important part of the process. Begin writing your titles, bullets, product description, and don't skimp out. A lot of people make that mistake where they undercut their titles and their bullets and their product description because new item setup is so labor intensive, especially when you're adding multiple ASINs, that people really skimp on short titles, abbreviated bullets, and 1-2 sentence product descriptions. The problem with doing that is the algorithm and search on site actually uses your title, bullets, and product description as the primary functions of the search relevance. So when you don't have rich phrases and words and in all three parts, title, bullets, product description, it affects your visibility, your searchability, and your ultimately ability to generate traffic organically and keep people occupied on the detail page once they find you. So that content is the most important part of the process in the launch kit.
Right. So SEO, so Amazon SEO is really important, and I think that the key there was that don't wait till after you get the product. As you are working on the product, get started right away.
Correct.
So that way because time is of the essence, right? Time is really important. You're doing so many things, especially as you're looking for a product and trying to get that on Amazon. Okay, so noted. So that the title, the description, the images are really important. What's next? What do we do next?
Right. So after you've got your title, your images, it's kind of at your discretion whether or not you want to move forward with the video development at that time. It is your sort of most expensive, I think, cost there. People can spend thousands to over $10,000 on even a short video to include on a detail page. It is valuable, but optional at the early stages.
How important do you think videos are in terms of, so if you've got great images, are videos going to make or break it? Or videos sort of a nice supplement? Where do videos stand in this?
Sure. I think it's a nice supplement. And the thing that's tricky about the videos is depending on what browse nodes you're in or categories determines the placement of the video. So in certain categories, there's like what I would say is poor placement on the video where it shows up below the fold. So some people will spend a lot of money in the video, then they're disappointed by where the video is located on the detail page, and ultimately you have no control over that. So I think it's nice supplement, and it's good sales material as long as it's short and sweet. I frequently work with new vendors that say, hey, I spent all this money and I have this 5-10 minute video I want to put on the detail page. And whereas that's great and everything, but the attention span of the shopper is short.
Right.
So you want to convert that customer in the fewest amount of clicks possible and the fewest amount of time possible, because it's very easy to abandon the item and hit the back button and go back to search results. So I think you kind of want to hit home any supplemental information that maybe wasn't covered that could clear up customer confusion with the detail on the video, and anything else would be kind of extra. So I think the video is a decent supplement, but not necessary early on.
Got it. So if it's done right, it can be impactful, but if it's not done right, you're really just wasting time and resources. Correct.
And I think early on, a lot of people, they invest a lot of money into that product development and the images that without the sales. So it may not warrant doing the video yet until you've recovered some of your investments.
Sure, that's fair. Okay, so what's next?
Sure. So after you have part of your imagery, you should also be browsing. This is assuming you have your brand registry. If you have your trademark already, I would work on registering that before you actually have product to sell. This way, when you build your item, you already have access to those brand tools, such as the brand page, video upload, and the ability to make enhanced brand content or A+ content. So I would work on that brand registry, get all your ducks in a row, and once you have that, start looking at the modules for A+, and get an idea of the size artwork you may need to request from your developer. If you want to use banners or left-align images, tables, each one of them has different size specifications. So I would start thinking, what do I want to do here? How many modules do I want to use? And again, work with your artist on getting all that information ready before you launch. So by the time you actually have product in network, your A+ is reviewed and approved, because that can take up to 7 days. So from here, assuming you now have all your content, you're in stock, you've read the manual, you understand how to ship into FBA, I would then consider immediately enrolling the product in early reviewer program, or ERP.
Okay.
So it's a very low cost. It's $60, and it essentially guarantees you up to 5 reviews for the product in exchange for a small gift card to the customer. So those first few sales you get, they're the most crucial. And with the ERP for $60, you can basically entice those first few clients to leave a review. So I've seen great success with that. I think if you've already launched your product, you already have all your content, it's not needed, and you likely won't be able to participate. But that's what I would do next. Okay. From here, you've got your content, you're an FBA, you've done early reviews.
Wait, actually, just can we go back?
On your brand registry.
Can we just go back for a second? That ERP, does everyone qualify for it?
You should be able to. So I haven't seen any instances where people don't qualify. It's possible if you are a reseller, not the brand owner of a new product, you may not get qualified for it. But only working with brand owners and not people who are, let's say, buying and reselling. I couldn't really speculate on that. Okay. But I haven't really seen any rejections outside of products that already have reviews. In that instance, you won't qualify.
Got it. So this is a brand new product, but it's agnostic of category and all of that. So it doesn't
Correct.
really, oh, got it. Okay. All right. So, all right. Sorry. So go on. I just wanted to interrupt and clarify that little piece, but go on.
No worries. So from here, your next step is to experiment and research PPC, which is its own beast, pay-per-click advertising. So Amazon Ads works similar to Google AdWords in that you can influence search results by bidding on keywords. And early on, that artificial relevance is going to be important in stimulating your sales momentum and ultimately your organic relevance. So if you've got your brand page, you can participate in the sponsored brand ads. If you have a short video, there's a beta now. You can do sponsored video ads, 15-second clips, and sponsored product ads, which are displayed on detail page and within search. I would, assuming you have brand registry, dabble in all of them, as well as product display ads. Some of them may be inefficient, and early on, I would not expect too much efficiency with the ads. However, with fine-tuning, you will be able to drive that average cost of sale down, A cost down. And those ads are very crucial to sort of getting the ball rolling. And the best analogy, because the site's momentum-based, is
Right.
let's say you have a snowball and you're at the top of a mountain, and it starts off
Right.
with just some packed ice.
Right.
But eventually you roll that ball down the mountain, and that's how the sales momentum relationship sort of works with Amazon. The more you scale, the more you sell, the more relevant you become, and the more you sell.
Right.
So you do have to put one foot in front of the other and can't expect the sales to happen first and then reinvest the dollars in advertising.
Right. So, and I think that's what we hear from people all the time, especially newer sellers, is they say, well, I'm going to wait till I have some more sales before I, increase my ad spend. And so, so your recommendation here is to get more sales, you've got to have a little bit more investment. And
Correct.
the early on you start with PPC, the early on you start with, advertising your product, you are actually setting yourself up for higher success. So
Correct.
don't wait, get started with that sooner than later.
Right.
Okay?
You can't basically wait for sales because you're going to be waiting a long time.
Right.
You essentially start with no relevance. So it's like walking into an empty bus and sitting in the back,
Right.
but then hoping to talk to the driver.
Right.
That's what it's like.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So advertising is really important, especially when you're first starting off with a new brand, to get the ball rolling, to get those sales initially, and then
Absolutely.
once you get those sales, and you can tweak around and play with things, and kind of see how you can organically increase your sales.
Correct.
Okay.
So something that may also aid, once you have sales, you have the ERP, you start to generate some reviews, and people frequently ask, how can I get more reviews? Now, there are a number of service providers out there that specialize in automated email campaigns, customer service follow-ups, post-order.
Like Seller Mobile.
And I would always encourage using those because they do work.
Right.
You have a certain percentage of customers who shut off third-party messaging, but I would say that the overall majority does allow it. And people like that kind of white glove touch. It feels like extra customer service. There's some value added there. And I would always recommend that. And you generally will see the reviews come in faster using a service like that.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so once you've got, because I think that you've got, for the review piece too, is it's one less task that you have to do when you set up those automated campaigns. That's one less thing you have to do. And now, Seller Mobile is just one of the service providers that has this, but there are a ton of others, and most all of them allow you to individualize those emails, to customize them. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but that creating that brand on Amazon, creating sort of that origin story, telling the buyer a little bit about yourself, adding that little extra touch, it makes it more personal, and it sort of encourages people to sort of want, you're a little brand. You might just be on Amazon, but you're a little brand, and people want to hear kind of your story and who you are, and personalize it a bit, because I think that piece is really, it sort of tugs at your heartstrings, depending on what the product is, of course, but you can add a little piece of yourself in there. So any
Correct.
recommendations on kind of personalizing it, adding, your story, who you are, what this product is, what it means to you?
Yeah, I think it's important to, include some history on the company and the product, and it's a good opportunity to provide some like extra information that couldn't be included on the detail page. I would say, the one piece of advice I would give people is to, when signing up for a new service, is not to get overzealous with the contacts, because the customers, they are sensitive. They like that you care, and they like your involvement, but they don't want to be hassled. So some sellers make the mistake of setting up a cadence too frequent for follow-ups, and it seems like harassment with reviews. So I would be mindful of that. But
and
yeah,
Amazon has very
right.
strict rules about that anyway. Amazon, will.
Correct.
Yeah, so they will. Yeah, they don't not do they do not like, when you are harassing customers, because that piece is
Correct.
Yeah, that piece is really important. So.
Now the other follow-up to the service and generating those reviews is to not be fearful of negative reviews. And I would not be quick to blame them on your competitors, which a lot of their sellers do. They feel they're being attacked. In most situations, I think that's the unlikely outcome. It is important to sort of self-assess all of the reviews, the good and the bad, because it's always an opportunity to potentially improve the product or the product quality or your packaging. So along with those services comes monitoring your reviews, and for sure having a system for intercepting and commenting on reviews that may be 3 stars or under.
Sure.
And the benefit of doing that is that your potential new clients see that you're interacting with anything that is potentially problematic, and have attempted to make good. I think that's a calming for people going into a product, seeing potentially some mixed reviews in there. They want further clarification. So the fact that you've tried to make it good, offer replacement, and others see, hey, the manufacturer's active, they care, is very helpful. So a lot of times you can spin bad reviews into good reviews as long as you're monitoring them.
Right. No, I think that's a really good suggestion, is because I think people, when they're reading reviews, are also aware of the fact that, there are some people who are nitpicky about it. And so you can kind of see that in there. And I think that if you respond back professionally, I think that the future buyer will see that as well, and so you can make something good out of a bad situation. I think that's a really important point there. Okay, so now after we've got the reviews piece, what's next?
Right. Next is to start working on promotions and deals, and this compound effect of offering, having a call to action, some kind of a discount. When the customer clicks on that ad, they click on your search results, they want something that's going to entice them to convert right there and then. And that is a sale. So anything 10 to 20% off, I think is a good start. I would experiment with discount levels, experiment with coupons versus best deals versus lightning deals, and see what works for you in terms of momentum increase and exposure. They're all different. I see some things work for certain products that don't work for others. And the great thing is, if you have a high-performing deal that stimulates a great increase in momentum, the deal actually promotes you through the other widgets on site. So the gateway page has today's deal. There's a coupon page, the category landing page. You can make movers and shakers and a number of different category level widgets on the site. So as your deal continues to ramp up, it becomes more visible on site, which has a compounding effect. And the increased sales momentum will, at the same token, reduce your rate cost because you've now become more relevant because you have more sales.
Right.
So it's kind of a trifecta. And the deals are definitely very important. You can schedule those, slot those right through Seller Central very easily. And I would immediately launch an item with some kind of a discount, even if there has no reviews yet.
Got it. Now, is there anything to be said for having deals around the time that people have deals, right? So like Black Friday, whatever holidays, is it more important to have deals then, or is it more important to sort of randomly, have that clip the coupon here or sort of things like that, like just because of nothing? As you're starting off, what's more important?
Right. So depending on how many items you have and whether or not they are varied would kind of determine your strategy. But I would say you want to evenly use deals throughout the year.
Okay.
If you're only selling one ASIN, I wouldn't wait for the one-hit wonder because it might not work. You want to start experimenting with those before you hit peak season, which it could be, Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Cyber Week. So you want to start working immediately with those things and cycle them on and off. Don't make constant deals because at some point it becomes like a regular price. So I would experiment with different types of deals throughout the year. If you've got variations on several ASINs, that gives you a little bit of an advantage. So let's say you have a detail page with 5 color or style options. You can put one on sale rotating every other month. So you've got a sale going on the aggregate parent at all times almost. Right. Now the benefit of having the deals on like a Prime Day or a Cyber Monday, Black Friday would be that you could take advantage of a lot of momentum if the sale takes off. And then when the deal ends, you hit what they refer to as a halo effect. So it's like a euphoric lift with relevance and sales momentum at your regular cost. So when you look at your profitability, you actually have to take that into consideration. It's how many units will I sell in the halo period at full price that can cost average with your discount during the sale. Experimentation is key, and a lot of products have some seasonality, so you may see, hey, May is also a good time for me, or spring. If a lot of people are outdoors, or you're doing something with camping or ride-ons. So that first year, it's gonna be some learning curve understanding your cycle.
Right. How much time to give a product before you decide, you realize that I need to either put more work into this or, this isn't going anywhere? And sort of at what point does someone call time of death on a product? Any recommendations there?
It sometimes depends on how many units you have. But I would say if you do everything correctly, you will see results in 3 to 6 months. Okay. Over 6 months, there may be some red flags. So you may realize this item is a commodity. There's too much competition. Right. It's not niche enough. So I think you should know something, whether or not you've plateaued or gone in the red or you're growing within 3 to 6 months. And I've had some sellers that are new to the site, and it's like a rocket ship immediately. Differentiation is your key there. When selecting items to sell, I would not go with things that are off the shelf or have a lot of competition, because at some point your margins and your traffic will be completely eroded by too many competitors.
Right. No. Okay. All right. This is really good information. I think that this is really relevant because I think there's something to be said for being patient, and you're not going to have that rocket effect, that overnight success. However, I think that if you try some of these strategies that you're talking about, that's really important. You want to also monitor how you're doing, and then realize if it's going beyond 6 months to a year and you're not getting any traction, either you reevaluate what you're doing, or you're right, maybe there's too much competition, maybe this isn't niche enough, that this isn't the right product. So it's really important, it sounds like, to continue reevaluate kind of how you're doing in the space, in the marketplace. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that differentiation is definitely key to your success on the site.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So what's next?
Now, after here, it's fine tuning. So assuming you've got all your ducks in a row with your content, your ads, if you're not seeing the growth you need, I would experiment with some A/B testing, changing your content, potentially adding some infographics. You need better images, or there's something else you can do to help stimulate sales and traffic to the ASIN. That could be via Facebook groups, doing some giveaways, or working on marketing strategy externally to try and drive traffic back in. So if you've done all these things, generally speaking, they will work assuming you've got a differentiated product. And from here, I would also try and figure out whether or not your leaders can be built on. So can I add more variations? Can I work with my factories to, let's say, multi-pack the same product and offer it in several different size variations so you can take advantage of sort of an aggregate view situation? Or maybe make the same product in several colors. Those are the lowest hanging fruit options, developing on your successful items. From there, I would say your next step is to develop more products that are sort of associated with the brand. Stuff you can link onto your brand page that would develop the product, add cohesion. Then once you've got some more products, you can now work with tables in your A+ and kind of link your successful products to your new products, and go about your brand building. I would not get complacent with, hey, this one ASIN sells great and that's all I'm going to do.
Right.
Because at some point, you'll see a plateau effect. Right. There will be new competitors, or there'll be some other new item that will capture some of that traffic, and you'll start to see sales flow over time. So you need to be cognizant of that one-trick pony, right. And make sure you're adding more apples to your basket.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. That's really great advice. So this is just a little piece of what you have in your book, right? So tell us about your book.
Right. So the book is called Become a Bestseller on Amazon.com, and it specializes in beginner to intermediate sellers and how to help them develop their ASINs and their brand. Much of what we went over today, but more in depth. It's got some sort of screenshots in there explaining where the different tools are through different menus on site. Explaining the logic behind the algorithms and the behavior and the momentum of the site, and kind of understanding how Amazon functions, and how you can use that to your benefit. It's really a strategy book, and the book came from working with a number of customers, and all telling me, you should write this stuff down. And it took me a few years, and I just didn't have the time. And eventually I was like, I want to take the summer months, kind of in August and September before things pick up for Q4 to write this book. I had notes, and I put it together, and then found an editor, and the rest was history. And I launched it in late 18, maybe early 19. So it's still very relevant. And in a short period of time, it became one of the best and the best-selling how-to books for Amazon.com.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So aside from being an author and teaching other sellers, you do consulting.
I do.
So who is your target? What kind of sellers should be reaching out to you to grow their Amazon business?
Sure. So I prefer to work with brand owners, people that have some kind of IP or trademark. So there's some uniqueness to the product.
Sure.
And a lot of them find me on LinkedIn or read my book, or I actually appear quite high on Google for Amazon reps or Amazon manufacturers reps and consultants. So I get a lot of inquiries through my site, and then quite a bit through referrals. So my network of manufacturers has kind of grown a lot over the last 10 years. The nice thing is I don't have to do tons of promoting because my story is sort of self-promoting. As my customers become more popular and category leaders, other affiliated business owners of theirs are saying, "Hey, who are you using for Amazon? And what's your secret? How'd you go so fast on Amazon?" And they also talk to Adam. So I get a lot of inquiries there, but I do work with manufacturers, small and large, from the beginner to the very experienced, platinum level seller. So anywhere between, let's say, $100,000 a year to excess of $10 million a year, anything in between. And everybody needs coaching. So even the people that think, "Hey, my sales are great," or they're complacent with their sales, everybody can grow. There's always things little things or intricacies people are missing. Correct.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So now, someone who's watching this, some of our viewers, and they're thinking, well, at what point do I contact Adam? Is it when they have an idea of something they want to do? Is it when they have already, figured out what they want to do and registered their brand and kind of are ready to sell? What point in that journey can you assist?
Yeah, I think at any point in the journey is good. I think if you don't know where to start, you're not sure how to write your content, you don't know what kind of images you need or what infographics are, or what people want to really see. Like, what are the highlights of your product? That's important. Understanding how the brand links to the byline and your brand page, and how you have a cohesive message to the customer, and you can sort of cross-sell with your own products. You've got some laggards that you want to sell more, and you need some analysis. I think at all stages, they would be good candidates, and I do a lot of a la carte services, one-time optimizations, and PPC, and consulting. I have teams of people that I can use back-end that can do item maintenance and building. And so let's say you're a one-man band and you're spread too thin and you want to work on product development, have someone manage the whole Amazon thing that kind of understands the ecosystem. Those would all be good potential clients for .com reps.
Perfect. So, our goal here on this channel is to really connect sellers with other service providers, with Amazon influencers, with coaches, with consultants, with folks that have, some knowledge and expertise in this arena. And so for folks that watch till the very end, we've got a special giveaway. For the first 5 people who comment on the video below, we're going to give them one of your books. And so we'll, comment whatever you want to write, something nice, hopefully. And then we'll contact you, and we'll get your information, and then send you one of Adam's books so you can grow your Amazon business and be as successful as some of the brands that Adam's worked with. And there's so much potential here. There's so much to do, and you're a testament to all of that. So we really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much, Adam. And we'll talk soon. We'll kind of continue this and add more pieces of nuggets of information for Amazon sellers.
Excellent. And thanks for having me on today. And I hope everyone enjoyed the book. And if anyone has any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it.
Thank you.